Alright fellas, I'm out in the garage. Got Hershey out here because there's a thunderstorm south of us, and she hears it. And of course, when she hears thunder, she comes out and finds me, sits around by my feet, whatever I'm doing, and sits there so she can be around me for some reason. She can be inside in Mama's feet when she's in there making lumpia, but she comes out here by me all the time. So what I'm doing, I got the car turned around. I drove it, went on the highway with it Wednesday night. Runs all right. I got to work on the tune a little bit. But what I was going to do today is going to do 5 things. The intention was to start, pull the rear end out, put the control arm reinforcements in, swap the Auburn out for a traction lock, put the stainless steel brake lines on, work on this thing here in a minute, I'll show you, and paint the trim molded in the back, and grind on the calipers a little bit to clear the drag lights. Then I always have a plan, but I'm always willing to change the plan. So Thursday, Michael had messaged Ozzy Moya. He's the owner of the Holt track, the track we normally go to. And Ozzy said that he has a buyer, and Ozzy's buying the stuff to get the track operational. So he's thinking in October it's going to be done. We originally got told August, now it's October. So with that in mind, and one other thing in mind, is I kind of did inventory and stuff I needed to fix the traction lock. Realized I didn't have all the parts because I had prepped the other rear end, the 373 rear end, for this before. I decided to change transmissions and all that stuff. But that whole rear end's all set up. It's ready to go. It's got the axles in. So that's going to go in Brandon's car. And I've got to get a kit so I can get this one ready. And I'm not going to do part of it now and then undo some stuff again later. So I can run it with this Auburn in it. All I really need to do is bleed the brakes and fix this thing, and then I can just drive it. But start over here. I had to take the trim off because I noticed water in the trunk a couple weeks ago. And I saw this little bubble here. So I figured I probably got some of that, and sure enough, I got the trim pieces off. And by the way, I got this little kit from Amazon with all these tools, and this worked great getting the trim off, because when I took the trim off the windshield, I really struggled with a screwdriver and a scribe. But it worked, but it was just kind of a fight. This thing came off in like minutes, just the first time. So what had happened? What had happened was, when this was sitting outside for 4 years while I was waiting to get my 347 built, this was sitting on the driveway outside here. But anyway, the driveway's got a little angle to it. I poured the driveway and I put it at an angle so the water would run off into the flower bed, so the flowers get water. Well, this was the lower side of the car, so all the water that came on the car came down in here. And of course, you got pollen, you got dust, just junk in the air, kind of collected in here, and it held water and it rusted. Granted, the car is 40 some years old too, or almost 40. So it's bound to happen. The rest of it don't look too bad. I've got to buy some more of these little clips to go on there, but it looks pretty decent. Just one thing that wanted to show you over here is how the stuff can kind of build up over here. I hadn't cleaned this side out yet, but just something to keep in mind, especially on the Mustangs with the hatches. Whenever I wash it, I always spray, the high pressure water down in here to make sure it kind of gets all the junk and leaves out. And the other thing, I had to go get one of these at the Ace Hardware because one of the lug nuts galled. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but yeah, pretty savory. So I'm going to run over that. When I pull the axles out to change the traction lock, I'll have a new set of studs to go in. I did cut these down a little bit because I do have hubcaps on the back. So the police interceptor style, these jobbers. I had to cut the studs down to run them. So I'm not changing the stainless steel brake lines on it. I'm not doing anything, just going to bleed the brakes and run it until, the intention being I want to get the blue car in here, because the track's going to open in October. I want to run the blue car first, because my last attempt to pass at the track before it closed was was with the blue car when I broke transmission. The other thing I'm fussing with is up here. The alternator is only putting out about 11.5 volts, and the wire going to the alternator is only putting out, it's only like 3.5 volts. So I gotta, it comes from the ignition switch, so I think I probably have a ground that's not as good as it could be. Everything else is in the car except for the back seat, because I was going to put the control arm reinforcements in. So I got to do a couple more things with the console. I found some more pieces once I got it in, so I got to take it back out and use that plastic welder, weld the pieces in, and then that part will be done. And fix where the like the console plate goes down on there, where the screws go to. It was the plastic was all busted up, so the screws wouldn't hold it down. So I got to figure out what to do with that, or else just make a plate that goes over that and holds all of the, just to kind of fill that spot there, because it looks a little janky right now. But I'll figure that out. But right now, the most important thing to do is get the brakes bled, fix the charging issue, then I can just drive it, be ready to go. And I guess that's about it. So, like I said, the main intention is to get this done, get it out of here, so I can get my blue car in here. I got to swap the engine, get the other engine prepped, ready to go in, so I can run that at the track first. Like I said, hopefully what Ozzy said happens, that they open up in October, which would be nice. It'll be starting to cool off pretty good by then. January, February is the best months for us in December, because it's dry and it's cool. But even in October, it's cooled off enough, and because the track is like 230 feet above sea level, so that is helpful also. So anyway, just wanted to give you a little quick update on what's going on with this, and the good news about the track. Like I said, I hope it's accurate, and whoever is buying it can make it happen. We have not heard anything. They've been really tight-lipped about who it is that's buying it. But as long as somebody's buying it, they can open it, and they want to keep it a drag strip. There's been all kinds of rumors about what's going on with it. So that's about it. We're like I said, we're out here working on this, trying to make stuff happen, get this back on the road. So we'll maybe the next update will be the blue car coming in and getting tore apart. All right, appreciate y'all. Later on.